Welcome to Coach's Corner, everybody. I'm Lyndon.
Amy.
And Devin.
I almost called myself Coach Lyndon. Welcome to Coach's Corner. This is where we help people change their relationship with food and fitness, sharing all of our experience, hopefully to help each and every one of you. Like the video, share the video. Don't forget to hit the notification button and subscribe. This is how we reach more people and share more of what we know. All right? So today we're talking about Burnout to Balance. All right? Reason being is because a lot of different times, when I started my journey, I realized that there's a lot of people out there, and these are the people we want to help every single day, that just didn't have a space to give themselves to give back, right? And we've had a lot of success stories over the years, but ironically, some of my favorite success stories are sitting here with me today. And this is me as a coach, but at Getting It Daily in general, I think the best coaches are the people who have empathy and sympathy in spades. So we were talking amongst us, and Em was chosen to share her story and how she healed, overcame some of her own personal stresses and balances. So we're gonna let her do her thing, and we'll chime in.
Oh no extra preface.
Oh yeah.
You want me to get a spotlight and put it directly on you?
Yeah,
That you want?
would be
I just have a
really
flashlight on my
definitely
cell
helpful,
phone.
like a ghost story. This is my ghost story. Gosh,
It's 12:56, and I just started talking about myself.
creepy. Okay, well I'm gonna try to focus
You
because
sweating, bro?
I have been. I've been sweating all morning. Gosh, I think I have made a life of professional burnout. I think just in many different scenarios and phases of life is that I have chosen to do things that make me feel burnout, I guess. So I guess 3 things come to mind about like coming here and using like movement, nutrition, overall wellness. One thing that stands out, my relationship with food and like having PCOS, being able to use movement and learning more about nutrition to regulate my body.
Can we dive into that a little bit?
Which part?
Can you tell people about, well, you got a lot of knowledge around nutrition. Why is that?
I do.
It's not just the PCOS stuff. It's a bit more than that, if I'm correct.
Yeah, well, the PCOS stuff was definitely a huge part of that. I didn't want to take a bunch of medicine when I was diagnosed, so I learned about nutrition instead.
August.
I learned about nutrition so that I could regulate that way. What we put in our body regulates hormones. I also had an eating disorder before I came here, when I came here.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
Yeah, and so just creating a better relationship with food that was more fuel-based and that I could feel really good about instead of kind of being all over the place, being mad at myself or judging myself, having body dysmorphia, not being able to get a plan that worked. So I think looking at it, I didn't come here like I gotta lose 50 pounds. I was like, nothing I'm doing is working. I'm frustrated. I need a plan. I dare you to give me one. Ha.
Okay, and I'm just saying this because I was on the other side of that console. You made it sound like you were just ready to run out the door, right?
Probably.
And you didn't really bring up nutrition. I brought up nutrition.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, right? I think
I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, a lot of people have losses, right? Like big losses. And imagine trying so many times you just feel like a loser, right? I think everybody can relate to that in some way, shape, or form, but specifically, like you were just like, I just want to move, this looks fun. And when I hear that, I go, okay, that's a great start, but there's more to it. Like that's not the only thing most of us want, hence the reason we need to make sure we're doing what we need to do, right? It was that kind of deal. You got it. All right, so the whole thing is to make sure that people really have what they need, how they need, because that really helps change, right? So you didn't think it was possible, which is why you came in the door like, I just want to move more, right?
Sure.
Even though that was probably true.
Right.
I'm saying there are things underlying that make our journey what they are. And again, I think having some wins helped you realize you could win in more spaces, which is why you challenged me or dared me to help you fix your nutrition. Yeah.
Well, I was coming in not really doing a lot. We danced together. So I was like, yo, step looks fire. And even then I was like, I bet it won't be though. But I had just been disappointed by so many methods of trying to get there that like I didn't want to have my hopes up, which is my MO. But yeah, step was fire, and then there was like a deal on training, so I was like, sure, whatever. But I was coming in, you know, eating disorder, lots of failed attempts, body dysmorphia, abusive relationship, and still trying to heal a decades-old car accident injury that was pervasive. Like I was going to chiropractor all the time, I was doing acupuncture, and nothing would fix it. Like it was better than original, but it was something I thought would never actually heal. And I have zero pain from those anymore. Yeah. Like zero, which is not a
incredible
thing I thought I would reach. So those were kind of the three things I thought of when we started talking about this.
Yeah.
I was not coming from a good space.
Okay.
But everything we do here has changed all of that for me.
Fair. I think it's important for people to realize in this conversation specifically, I'm sure some of them might even have questions on like some of the things that like how you really started to fix them. But I really think it has to do with winning, right? Like I think a lot of us feel like we're losers our entire life in some way, shape, or form. And then we're like, it's just never gonna work this way. And that becomes the rhetoric you tell yourself. So that's why you come in, but you don't really get involved, right? In a lot of different spaces, in a lot of different communities, you get at, but you don't really get involved because you're worried about what that looks like and how that feels. So more often than not, we will find ourselves doing things that make us feel, let's say, small, so that way people don't get to see us. I'm asking what your moment of showing up as yourself, and like what made you really make the change? Like what flipped the switch for you? What was your very first true win in your mind? Yeah.
For like at all training?
Choose.
Okay. I think I'll name a few random ones. I think one of my first like step into considering this as a community for me was the bang bang I got two of them joke. Like that kind of made me laugh, and it made me feel not invisible because I felt really invisible in my life.
You made these terrible shirts.
I did make terrible shirts.
You forced us to wear them.
You never wore it.
I wore it, just not here. I wore it. I just didn't wear it here.
Sorry, guys.
I like it.
It just had two fingers over it like this, and
yeah,
I was
it
just
hilarious.
like, yeah.
Super funny.
I was like, can I get this in a bralette?
Bang, bang.
Okay, it wasn't the shirt. It was the moment, and that was like, oh, I'm like a person here. And then subsequently, y'all like were encouraging me to speak more. So that was weird. And now I talk too much. So there was, thank yourself. So that was definitely a community moment. I think nutritionally, the weird part of that was water. I started drinking water. I lost like 10 pounds. And I was like, wow, that was weird. And then I was...
It's never worked.
Yeah, it's like, it was just water. Did you know?
Comes right out of the faucet.
Did you know
guys
you
tried
need
this?
it? Your body
That's
is...
really how it was.
People would be like, how did you do it? I'd be like, yo, water though?
Have you heard of it?
Hey, yo, I tried
He would
this
pull
new
me
thing.
into a consult, like, yo, tell him about how you started to have some water. So that was definitely a huge piece.
Wow.
And I think being able to, you know what? I think that lunge challenge, physically speaking, because I did not think that was possible.
Okay.
And I took a day off because I was sick or something.
I thought it was the running, but let's go
These
with the
are
lunge challenge.
pre-running. These are all
Yeah,
pre-running.
I really thought it was the running. I didn't think it was really the lunges.
That's later.
That's fair.
That's all.
I think that's later.
They're all connected.
The running
in
was a
wins, but-
second tier to
Yeah.
the lunges
Yeah.
because I got through the lunges, and after day 5 or something, you were like, all right, I can do this. And that was like a first physical noticing for me that I could do more than I thought, because before I came here, I was doing like video workouts and it's whatever weird weights you have at your house, and like you never get past them.
End table.
I'm picking up these 15-pound weights forever, and then you hit the 15-pound weight, and then you kind of get like bored, and nothing's happening. So you kind of, I would just like quit, go back, da 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 da. But here, like even with the set of weights we have, there's multiple options. There's never a time where I'm like, nothing heavy enough for me. Like, and I don't even see that at a close horizon. Like me and Amy are gonna be cleaning Lizzo over there.
Yikes.
So, so that like knowing there's farther to go and seeing progress, like, oh, I'm going up the bells. Like that's, I think, yeah, the lunges were a moment I started to feel that feeling.
So I think it would be fair to say for people who are watching and kind of curious, I think it would be fair to say that our wins in terms of stacking them is really what helps a lot of people who come in our doors. And a lot of it is, again, you need a foothold. You need a place to win from. You got to be grounded. You got to be able to look at the journey. Like people telling you to speak more when you felt like you didn't have a voice.
Yeah.
That is a win. And people actually listening to you. Like they think about there are certain spaces and places that will say, yeah, we want this, but don't really do it though. Mm-hmm. And we're actually like, oh yeah, what you have to say is interesting. We'd like to get to know you better. And this helps. So part of the reason I think our community is special has to do with the fact that we don't give people a lot of fluff, right? Like we just give people, it's like, nah, just showing up for yourself will give you some of the change you're looking for. Yeah. And that right there is literally the hardest part for I think most people on the journey. They'll show up for a couple days, they'll show up one time a week, knowing that's not enough. Yeah.
And you're making it harder for yourself, which is what I tell clients is like, if you're not consistent, you're actually
100%.
going to take longer to recover. But to what you said about running too, I would say like the things I'm pulling out are early, but I think as you continue your progress and what you're holding yourself to, I think is important. Like the running is off the lunges, and then there's something we did 75 hard that was off of being able to drink water in the first place. So I think even now, like I'll feel like I'm losing, like I need to still stack wins. So it's kind of, but you do need to look back and say like, well, that's where I started.
Acknowledging how far you came.
That's what I did. This is what my body looked like and felt like. Like I recently thought that this past weekend, I was like, I really have no idea still. Like, what does my body look like? But I think it's way different.
I think you do know. You've told some stories.
I had to think about it.
I don't think you had to think about it too hard. I think these are false news. There was a story recently where you went to Home Depot.
Oh, that was funny though.
Oh, all right. Now it's funny. Can you tell them the story so they have context? Because you told me.
I went to Home Depot and never felt more beautiful in my life.
Ooh.
And objectified.
Like the workers.
I was like, no, just people, like 5 different people at the store, just like looks, comments, someone yelling at me from across the parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, not the attention I wanted, but that is different attention.
It is attention.
Yeah.
And it was intention based on all the work you put in.
Yeah.
Right? Like, again, stacking your wins, realizing where you are, they're big for the holistic health journey. And again, if we're talking about, in general, the win being something as simple as hydration, like we give out acceptable steps for people based on where they are. And that's, I think, a lot of different times people are like, here's the list of things you need to do right, good luck. And it depends on the person. This is why having a personalized approach is good for that, right? Where are you? Do I recognize where you are, and how much help do you really need?
That's why you helped me, actually. Because I was let's make a pile of possible things that might help so I can never know which one worked. And you were very adamant about not doing that. And I think you specifically didn't talk about food at first. You talked about water.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, now I'm winning. Now I'm willing to talk about this. Now I'm willing to talk about that.
Yeah. Most people don't realize that when they start to win, they want to talk about where they're losing. Like, because again, feeling like you only lose doesn't really give you a space to win from.
Yeah.
So when you win, you're like, man, I could do this.
I like
right?
that feeling.
Yeah. And a lot of people pursue that. And again, this is across the board, which is why I call it a holistic approach. It can be mentally, physically, and spiritually. You know, have you ever walked into a space and felt like you're the only person who feels the way you do? I think a lot of people do, right? And whether you're alone or not, it's not the truth. I have watched a lot of different times of like different connection moments, and I've seen them for people, but your journey in the last like year and a half has been exactly that. Your journey has been basically epitome. I remember you came in, like Sarah was here before you, Rutherford, for those who know her, and she was struggling with like this PCOS stuff, but she wasn't really voicing it. So when you came in and you started talking about it, we had Kayla who was dealing with it. We had like 3 or 4 people who were experiencing this and saying nothing because they just assumed that I wouldn't be able to help.
Well, it's
right?
common and it's shameful. Like,
Yeah.
I think for women, it's hard to, like,
Well, I mean,
this
and
is
I am
wrong
a
with
guy.
me.
I am
Yeah.
a guy as a trainer, so it's hard to talk about. So when you started talking about it too, I think that really did help a lot of people dive deeper into it. And that's where you got a chance to share your knowledge from. Yes? So we're just trying to win in the ways that help us win. And again, I think that, you know, I know this for a fact, sometimes a lady wants a lady coach to talk about her things with. We try our best to get around that, obviously. I don't think we've ever had any problems with communicating with people in that regard. But again, I have definitely noticed that people feel more safe with specific people. And I don't think that's a problem if your team's great. If your coaches are good, if the way you do things works together, not a problem. So again, your wins are inspiring, and I think they inspire a lot of people. You're always talking about how Justine looks up to you now.
I love Justine.
Yeah, so-
Love working out with Justine.
That's a big thing. We all love you, Justine,
True.
for sure, for sure. But it's one of those things, like there's the unseen wins and they're not celebrated enough, which is why people always feel like they're losing because they don't really realize they have a foothold to work from. Again, if you're not grounded, then you can't really move in any direction, right? Because you're already moving in all the directions. Do you get what I'm saying? Until you stand still, you don't know if you're moving forward or not. That's what I mean. So a lot of the times we need to be grounded enough to see where we are to move forward. You do a great job of that. That's why things have changed and now you're getting whistles in a Home Depot parking lot.
But would I have gotten them anyway?
I don't think so.
Shut up, Em!
I don't
Who
think so.
asked you?
Fair. Fair.
This interview is over.
Fair. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, everybody. If you'd like to join our community, check us out, www.gettingitdaily.com. You can also check us out on social media. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram under the name Getting It Daily. Till next time, I'm Lyndon.
Amy.
And Debbie.
And we're signing off. Peace.
Deuces.